Most recently, I did a comparison between two characters, both Deadpool and the Joker, talking about how they would get along with each other and why Deadpool would drive the Joker insane. But this time around, I want to talk about two characters, one from obviously the DC Universe and another from an anime. Well, obviously we're talking from the title, you can see, we're talking about Superman and Goku. Yes, there's hypotheticals of them going head to head in a brawl. Who would win? Oh, who's gonna, take the dub against each other? Of course, most of the time, if not all the time, Superman is the winner. But today, we're not talking about them fighting, brawling, or even kind of just going head to head at all. This time around, we're talking about why Superman and Goku would never see eye to eye. Now, I went and debated for a while. Do I want to call this why Superman would absolutely hate Goku? Why Superman would never be friends with Goku? But I decided against calling it those things because I genuinely don't think that's 100% true. We know that Superman ends up being basically best friends with someone like Batman, and they really never saw eye to eye themselves. But why would Superman and Goku also not see eye to eye? They have a lot of similarities, right? They both were sent to Earth based on a catastrophic thing that was going on at their home planet. They're both from an alien race. They're both raised by a human. Why are they different, right? And the main reason why they're so different is because of Saiyan biology. And the difference between Saiyan biology and Kryptonian biology is very, very large. And I could sit here and say the main reason why is because Goku loves to fight. And yes, that is a big reason, but I want to break down just kind of the stages of these things on why they would never see eye to eye. Let's start with Superman's arrival to Earth, right? His motivations are deeply rooted in his own kind of identity as a protector of Earth. He was raised by human parents with strong moral values, and he continues to try to kind of see his powers as a responsibility, right? His job is to uphold justice, to protect the innocent. His actions are often driven by basically the duty and sense of obligation to both of his adoptive home parents and to make sure that he can lay protection the way his parents protected him when he was younger, right? Superman's job is to protect, and his parents really implanted that in his head, that he was going to be this savior, that he was going to be this person who was going to help people all around the world. And yes, don't get me wrong, Goku has some decent moral values, but he wasn't necessarily raised the same way. Now, Goku may have been raised by Grandpa Gohan to treat people with respect, or at least try to treat people with respect, and Grandpa Gohan definitely tamed over Goku, improving who Goku was really as a person. And we all know that the head bump definitely helped with that massively, because he was a rowdy and rambunctious kid, right? The Saiyan race itself is made to be rowdy and rambunctious, but the head bump obviously helped, and he was more or less treated with kindness, and Grandpa Gohan was an amazing father figure, grandpa figure, whatever you want to call it. But here's the thing. Grandpa Gohan didn't really implant in Goku that he was going to be the protector, that he was going to be this somewhat savior, or that his powers needed to be used for good. Because in this world, it's a little bit different. Goku's powers don't just come from his Saiyan genetics. Don't get me wrong, it massively helps that he is a Saiyan, but his powers don't come from them specifically, right? They come from the training, the ki, or being able to utilize ki, and also being able to just maintain his power, right, throughout his Saiyan biology, stacked on top of his usage of what we know in Dragon Ball as ki. Now, why I believe this is important to bring up is because, while Goku does care about protecting people, his primary focus is self-improvement. His primary focus is to get stronger and stronger. He is not already a super-powered being to the point that he could go out and save people all willy-nilly whenever he wants to. Goku had to train and work for his power. I'm not saying this makes him better than Superman, but it's a difference that we have to talk about. Goku worked and trained massively for his strength and power, and this was a big component of the reason why, well, of also his Saiyan genetics, that he loves to fight. That's the main reason why he loves to fight. He thinks that, oh, I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to get more powerful, but it's never, I want to get more powerful to make sure that I can protect everybody, save everybody, right? It's, I want to get more powerful because I want to get stronger, because I want to get better, because I want to be an even stronger person in the coming days, right? We see different moral values from even Vegeta. Vegeta says that his motivation to getting stronger is to stop Frieza. That Frieza, now that he's back alive and that he got so strong after training for only 4 months or whatever it was, 5 months, he now feels in himself that he needs to get stronger to make sure that Frieza doesn't get away with this. I mean, shoot, Goku put the entire universe at risk because he wanted a fight. Yes, in logically speaking, you might be able to look at it like, well, Zenon was going to blow up the other universes anyways, so the Tournament of Power was the only way to really save them. Yes, of course. But at the same point, Goku did not know that. Goku had no clue about that. All Goku wanted to do was fight strong people in the universe or the other universes, and that led to risking, well, literally everybody's universe's fate. That's literally what Goku did. Superman, on the other hand, well, he tries to avoid unnecessary conflict. He seeks peaceful resolutions when at all possible. So the big reason why Superman would never get along or see eye to eye with Goku, even if he somewhat sees eye to eye now with someone like Batman, who kind of plays the role of a vigilante far different than Superman ever would, is because Goku seeks out unnecessary conflict. At the end of the day, Superman, his whole goal is to prevent harm, ensure that the conflict causes minimal damage. But at the end of the day, he often sees and views his own powers as a last resort to maintain peace. Goku, on the other hand, will seek out and, heavily seek out a fight, combat. He wants to absolutely brawl and fight and just challenge himself to the utmost degree. Does this mean Goku is a bad person necessarily? No, because he saved the Earth on multiple occasions. Goku has helped and saved the Earth on countless times throughout his life, but he also has endangered it, right? Goku may have sacrificed himself, teleporting Cell away to King Kai's planet, blowing himself up, and quote-unquote saving Earth, at least at that point. But what led to him getting to that point, right? He forced his own son to take on Cell, gave Cell a Senzu Bean because he felt like, oh, well, Cell needs to be at full strength to actually take on Gohan. But why? Why would he give Cell a Senzu Bean? Cell is a planetary threat that is threatening to hurt his family and basically explode the entirety of the planet. So why would he do something so idiotic? Why would he do such a thing? And even when he ends up dying, he believes in himself. He believes to himself that, hey, if I stay away, maybe the threats won't show up anymore. Well, yes, to a certain extent, his power, his strength, and his kind of aura itself does kind of attract a lot of people to want to fight. But Goku himself starts a fight. Goku himself has started fights on his own on multiple occasions. I mean, we even have the whole Frieza arc where King Kai is telling Goku, do not fight this guy at all costs. Get the Dragon Balls and get the hell out of there, right? Do not fight Frieza. But Goku, he doesn't care. He believes that, it's a good fight, right? I'm going to be able to fight this guy, right? Oh, it's going to be so great, and I'm going to have such a good time fighting this overpowered being that I have no idea if I can beat or not. That's what Goku does. And I love Goku. I love Goku to death, man. I think Goku's awesome. I think Goku's whole, mantra of wanting to get stronger and stronger, and he's going to give it his all no matter what is amazing. But at the end of the day, if Superman was in a position where they were fighting down some strong being, and Goku goes, no, like, let him power up. I want the strongest fight possible. Yeah, Superman and Goku would never see eye to eye on that. Goku would say these things like, oh yeah, I want to fight this guy. I want to see what he's all about. I mean, shoot, Goku met Goku Black, right? An evil version, quote unquote, of Goku, right? And he knew what that Goku Black did. He knew what that character did to everybody. And he had his chance. He could have powered up fully, ended him, or defeated him instantly, and have been done and over with it. But he decided, oh, I'm going to go Super Saiyan 2. Because if I go Super Saiyan 2, then I can even out the playing field and I can have a good fight. Right? That's insane. What about all the stuff with Beerus? Right? He knew that Beerus was a god of destruction. He's on King Kai's planet, and he knows that King Kai is telling him, do not mess with this guy. This guy is terrifying. This guy will hurt you, kill you, whatever. He still does it. He gets beaten down, and he really puts people in jeopardy because of it. Countless times Goku does this, and he will continue to do it over and over and over again, right? And don't get me wrong, other characters in Dragon Ball, they're not innocent, right? Vegeta lets Cell power up, right? He's not innocent. But Goku does it on countless occasions. He continues to put other people in jeopardy for the thrill of the fight. Something that Superman would never do. His moral philosophy is completely different than Goku's, which sounds crazy to say because Goku himself deemed himself as the hope of the universe, right? He is the person that comes when innocent creatures cry out for peace. We know the speech when he faced down Frieza, that was very Superman-like, right? The at least the moral compass aspect of it felt very Superman-like. But really, in all of the decisions that Superman normally makes, he really does base it on right and wrong, at least in a traditional sense, right? He holds firm to this justice and truth, and he really does lean into this preservation of life, right? That's what he does. He's willing to make personal sacrifices. He's willing to give it all he's got to save everybody else, right? Goku's moral philosophy is just super flexible. Super flexible. And like I said before, he has a tendency of allowing powerful villains to survive for the sake of future battles, right? Not always considering the broader consequences of his actions. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that could happen with him allowing people that second chance. And I'm not saying people don't deserve a second chance, but the situation that Goku sees it as isn't I'm giving you a second chance to be a better person, is I'm giving you a second chance so that maybe we can fight in the future and you'll be even stronger and more impressive. His decisions can sometimes really be reckless. He can really be focusing kind of on the immediate challenge and not thinking about the long-term effects that some of these things that he's going to do, and some of these things, like if he what's going to happen with some of these things that he decides to do in terms of just these long-term effects, right? And really their perspective on life and power is just so different. And that's why Superman would just never get along, or at least never see eye to eye with Goku in the most part, right? Superman really leans into the idea of I'm the protector of these humans, right? I am this balancing role of a superhero, and he believes in this heavy notion of humanity, empathy, compassion, self-control. Saiyans don't think that way. Even a head bump Goku didn't really think that way, right? he was a lot more carefree, especially when it came to his powers. And as a Saiyan, he thrives on pushing his limits, and that doesn't mean necessarily a push of the limits to make sure everyone else is safe. Sometimes it's a push of the limits just because he wants to see how far he can go. I mean, the dude literally put an assassination attempt on himself because he wanted to fight Hit once again. He wanted to have no limits. He wanted to take him on, full throttle, without any restrictions. That's what Goku is willing to do. He's willing to take these risks of basically have him be assassinated, leave his family, his wife, his children, right? These people who need him. And he's willing to do that for the thrill of the fight. And frankly, talking about him being a husband and father is like a totally another conversation we can have, right? Superman, and we've seen on multiple occasions, as a husband and father is normally pretty damn good, right? Clark Kent is a good persona and a good person at heart. He was raised right and all these things, but how many times does Goku kind of just, not really pay much attention to his kids and not really pay much attention to his wife? That's just the Goku way, right? I guess. But that's kind of like this odd Saiyan thing, I guess you could call it. But Superman and Goku, even in their own kind of personal lives, right? You can even call it that. Their own personal lives, Superman would never see eye to eye with the way Goku approaches things, right? He would never see eye to eye with the way Goku really approaches his own personal life. And that's on top of his already kind of skewered justice ideals, because Goku doesn't really think about justice and protecting the innocent people, at least not as much. Yes, don't get me wrong, he won't just let people just die for no reason, but at the same time, we know Goku doesn't really put much thought into kind of saving the mass majority of people. If he did, if that's what he mainly thought about was hey, I need to think about these people's well-beings all the time, then there's a lot of times where, let's just say, these super-powered beings wouldn't be allowed to charge up, wouldn't be allowed to get stronger, wouldn't be allowed to recover, wouldn't be allowed to escape. That's the type of thing Goku does, and frankly, Superman would have none of it. I mean, I literally sat here and debated with myself, would Superman hate Goku? Probably not. Would there be a part of him that really gets irritated with him? Of course, because there was a part of him that got very irritated with Batman, with his ideals, with the way he approached things, and I get it, right? Superman is the big blue Boy Scout, right? That's who Superman is. But I would even go further to say that I think he would be more irritated with Goku's kind of way of being a quote-unquote hero, or the way he kind of saves people, compared to even Batman. Batman would do quite a bit to sacrifice, kind of to help others, right? To save people and to stop villainy and put them behind bars, right? Superman would do the same thing, would protect people, would sacrifice so much just to save one person. That's just who they are. Goku, on the other hand, would challenge a god of destruction, threatening the entirety of the destruction of Earth, and basically would do it just so that he could have fun. That, I know that's not how the story or of Battle of Gods goes, but he genuinely would. I mean, he literally challenged Beerus on King Kai's planet, knowing the potential outcome of that destruction of King Kai's planet. I mean, Goku, after that fight, all he could think about himself was how he was going to fight Beerus again when he went back to Earth. That is the god of destruction, people. That guy will literally destroy an entire planet, or at least half a planet, for greasy food, because the food was too greasy. Goku knew what that god was, right? The god of destruction. And he still would put those people he quote unquote cares about in harm's way. Now, I know it's Saiyan nature, and I know deep down inside Goku cares about everybody. Not even deep down inside, because he does care about everybody. But his actions, well, they would definitely frustrate one Superman, and they would definitely irritate the hell out of him, even if Superman would still find a way to somewhat be friends with the lighthearted and loving Goku, right? But at the end of the day, Superman and Goku would never see eye to eye because of the things that Goku puts first. It feels sometimes that Goku puts the thrill of the fight or training even before the safety of his family. Now, with that said, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I personally think Superman and Goku would never see eye to eye, but maybe you think otherwise. Maybe you believe I'm wrong. Maybe you believe I'm right. Give me some examples of either way. I don't really mind nonetheless. But what really matters is that I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, YouTube believes you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.